My name is Abraham John. I'm going to talk about a disease known as polycystic kidney disease. Before getting to the topic of discussion, let us look at the structure, location, and functions of a kidney. Kidneys are two bean-shaped organs, each about the size of a fist. They are located near the middle of the back, just below the rib cage. Inside each kidney, there are about 1 million tiny structures called nephrons, which filters blood. They remove waste products and extra water in the form of urine. The adrenal gland is involved in the synthesis of steroid hormones, and it also produces adrenaline. The kidney gets its blood supplied from the aorta, and the impure blood is drained through the inferior vena cava and taken back to the heart for oxygenation. Nephron is the microscopic ultrastructure of the kidney. There are 1 million nephrons in each kidney. Nephron is also the filtering unit of the kidney. The main part of the nephron are the glomerulus, which is a tuft of blood vessels. The other parts are proximal convoluted tubule, which continues to the loop of Henle, distal convoluted tubule, and ends in the cortical collecting duct. Blood is filtered, urine formed in these segments of the nephron. Polycystic kidney disease is acquired genetically and transmitted in an autosomal dominant and autosomal recessive fashion. Polycystic kidney disease is a cystic genetic disorder of the kidneys. There are 44 autosomes and 2 sex chromosomes. Half of each is inherited from each parent. Autosomal dominance is a pattern of inheritance characteristics of some genetic diseases. Autosomal means that a gene in question is located on one of the numbered or non-sex chromosomes. Dominant means that a single copy of the disease-associated mutation is enough to cause the disease. A man with an autosomal dominant disorder who has 2 affected children and 2 unaffected children. Polycystic kidney disease is due to mutation in the genes. If one parent has the disease, there is a 50% chance that the diseased gene will pass to a child. In some cases, polycystic kidney disease occurs spontaneously, and neither of the parents carry a copy of the diseased gene. So far as we know, the disease has always existed globally. In an autosomal recessive disorder, 2 unaffected parents each carry 1 copy of a gene. According to the image, they have 1 child and 3 unaffected children, 2 of which carry 1 copy of the mutated gene. However, severe form of PKD is the one in children. This is the recessive form. This form of PKD is not compatible in life, as they rarely live beyond few months after the birth. Autosomal recessive polycystic renal disease in a 3-week-old boy from whom the enlarged kidneys were removed to improve respiratory management. As I mentioned earlier, polycystic kidney disease are of 2 types, the autosomal dominant and autosomal recessive ones. As the name implies, one is inherited in a dominant fashion, the other in a recessive manner. I will be restricting my talk to the dominant form of polycystic kidney disease. Kidney is the only organ where the disease leads to the complete failure of an organ. Other organs such as liver and pancreas also gets the cyst, but the organ functions are not usually affected. Aneurysms in the brain can be seen in patients with polycystic kidney disease, which can be fatal. Burstings of aneurysms can cause strokes. An aneurysm is a bulge or ballooning of a blood vessel in the brain similar to a berry hanging from a stem. A brain aneurysm can leak or rupture, causing bleeding into the brain. If the cyst bursts, blood is also noticed in the urine. Polycystic kidney disease was discovered by a British medical researcher and physician named Richard Bright. He was a British physician who was the first to describe the clinical manifestation of the kidney disorder. In a patient with full-blown polycystic kidney disease, both the kidneys are riddled with cysts. 1 out of 500 to 1 out of 1,000 people are affected by the polycystic kidney disease. Kidney enlarges considerably due to cyst growth, resulting in flank and severe abdominal pain. This is the cross-section of a sliced kidney with the disease. The yellow surface is the unaffected part of the kidney. The part with a lot of holes is where the cysts have been formed. The affected area becomes completely non-functional. Cyst formation occurs at the level of the cell, nephron, and kidney. Defects in the genes encoding polycystin-1 or polycystin-2 leads to aberrant gene transcription, cell proliferation, and ion secretion, which results in the formation of fluid-filled cysts. As cysts balloon out from individual nephrons, their collective effect leads to the displacement of the normal renal dysfunction and the formation of a cyst-filled kidney with reduced functional capacity. There are two different kinds of polycystic kidney diseases, polycystic kidney disease 1 and polycystic kidney disease 2. Abnormality in chromosome 16 is polycystic kidney disease 1. This is due to the expression of abnormal polycystin-1. Chromosome 16 is one of the 23 pairs of chromosome in humans. People normally have 2 copies of this chromosome. Chromosome 16 spans about 90 million base pairs, the building material of DNA, and represents just under 3% of the total DNA in cells. Polycystin-1 has been shown to interact with polycystin-2. The letters P and Q in the chromosome represents the short arm and the long arm of the chromosome. Polycystin-1 is a protein that in humans is encoded by polycystic kidney disease 1 gene. Polycystin-1 is a glycoprotein which contains a large N-terminus extracellular region, multiple transmembrane domains, and cytoplasmic C-tail. Abnormality in chromosome 4 is polycystic kidney disease 2. This is due to the expression of abnormal polycystin-2. Chromosome 4 is one of the 23 pairs of chromosome in humans. People normally have 2 copies of this chromosome. Chromosome 4 spans more than 186 million base pairs and represents between 6 and 6.5% of the total DNA in cells. Chromosome 4 likely contains between 700 and 1,100 genes. It may function as an integral membrane protein involved in cell-to-cell matrix interactions and may modulate intracellular signal transcription pathways. It plays a role in renal tubular development, and mutations in this gene have been associated with autosomal dominant polycystic kidney disease. Polycystin-2 is a protein that in humans is encoded by the polycystic kidney disease 2 gene. Polycystin-2 contains multiple transmembrane domains and cytoplasmic N and C termini. Polycystin-1 and polycystin-2 affect multiple signaling pathways. Multiple direct and indirect interactions allow the polycystin proteins to inhibit or stimulate pathways involved in cellular growth and differentiation. In normal people with healthy kidneys, polycystin-1 and polycystin-2 acting through multiple cell signaling intermediaries results in decrease in cell size, protein synthesis. This eventually leads to inhibition of the cell growth and cell division. Reverse happens in people with polycystic kidney disease and is the fundamental factor which promotes the growth of the cyst. It increases the cell size, protein synthesis, cell growth, and cell division. The mean age of people with polycystic kidney disease 1 is 50 years, with a potential for the disease to progress faster. When the disease progresses, it results in complete kidney failure, requiring the patient to undergo dialysis and/or kidney transplant. Polycystic kidney disease 2 occurs during the 6th decade of life. Patients have milder form of the disease with less progression to organ failure. They live life with normal organ function for the remaining of their life. Several researches are being conducted towards finding a treatment for the disease, but for now it is dialysis and transplant. This brings us to the end of the presentation.